It was a crisp Saturday afternoon when Jake found himself at a bustling café, his regular spot for people watching and sipping coffee. With winter lingering, he had a warm beverage in hand and his favorite beanie snug on his head. But today, there was something different in the air. Across the café, a beautiful woman sat alone, her laughter ringing like music, effortlessly attracting the attention of everyone around her. Jake felt a flutter of anxiety. He had been trying to muster the confidence to flirt with women and was facing yet another challenge. He had tried pickup lines, but they often came off as awkward or forced. Small talk felt trivial, and he was unsure how to connect without overthinking every word. Just as he started to lose hope, his eyes caught hers. For a brief moment, their gazes locked, and she smiled warmly. A spark ignited in Jake's heart. Could this be his chance? Gathering his courage, Jake remembered something his friend once mentioned, the power of eye contact. It was simple yet profound. He decided to focus not just on looking at her, but on making her feel seen. He took a deep breath, turned his gaze back towards her, and allowed himself to be open and genuine. Rather than just look at her, he held her gaze, adding a small, sincere smile that came from a place of warmth and interest. To his surprise, she smiled back, her eyes sparkling with intrigue. That initial connection lit a fire in him. Maybe flirting didn't have to be complicated after all. It could start with something as simple as shared eyes looking at each other, revealing both interest and invitation. With newfound confidence, Jake realized he was closer to overcoming his flirtation hurdles than he thought. Jake held her gaze a moment longer, his heart racing at the vibrant exchange. It became clear that this simple act of connection was more than just a starting point. It was a revelation about the vulnerability of authentic interaction. Encouraged by her response, he crafted a plan. Instead of relying on rehearsed pickup lines or worrying about impressing her, he resolved to approach her as he would a new friend, with genuine curiosity. He took another sip of his coffee, letting the warmth flow through him. As he stood up, he felt the weight of uncertainty shift off his shoulders. With a light-hearted determination, he made his way across the café, each step imbued with an awareness of what he was about to do. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, his voice steady despite the butterflies in his stomach. She looked up, surprise flickering across her face, but the smile that followed was unmistakably welcoming. "Of course," she replied, motioning to the empty chair across from her. The conversation flowed effortlessly as they exchanged small stories. He learned her name was Mia and that she had been looking for inspiration for a painting she was working on. He shared his own pursuits, the complexities of his job, and his aspirations. As they spoke, Jake realized that every laugh, every thought shared bridged the gap between strangers and potential friends. Critical points emerged: vulnerability, genuine interest, and the authentic spark that comes when two people embrace their individuality. Jake recognized that connections are built on the foundation of being seen and heard, rather than on rehearsed lines or curated personas. As their conversation lingered, he felt himself transformed, not just in his approach to flirting, but in his ability to build connections altogether. He leaned back, content and energized, as the world outside the cafe faded into the background, leaving just him and Mia, wrapped in conversation. In essence, Jake learned that confidence blooms from authenticity. He may have walked in as a hesitant flirt, but he was leaving as a man who understood the power of genuine connection. The experience reinforced a crucial takeaway. Relationships aren't forged in perfection, but in the delightful dance of two people being real with each other. He smiled, knowing he had taken a significant step beyond mere observation. He had embraced participation, and in doing so, opened himself up to new possibilities.